Alright, doing a transmission pan gasket on a turbo 350. It's pretty simple. I'm going to change the filter too. So you just take the bolts out around the side there, and I go in a crisscross pattern, taking them out or breaking them loose. They screwed right out, but whoever built this, they didn't use RTV on it, so the cork gasket, it came right off. And I mean, it's nice and clean, even the pan. Now, first thing you want to do is drain your pan if you can. This one had a drain plug in it. Yeah, up there. So that made things a lot easier. I just drained it into that right there. Actually, this little wood thing right here that I got, I just put some blocks on it. I set the transmission up, and then the drain was right here. And I just set it over, scooted it up over top of the pan, or the drain pan, took the plug out and drained it all out, and then I took the wood blocks off and I flipped it over. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the area around it, which it's already clean. It just needs wiped off. Same thing for this one. And that's a rubber gasket, so I'm not going to use RTV on it. Now, you will get some sludge in your pan. That's typical. But there's some chunks of stuff in there. Even on the filter. Yeah, that filter needed changed pretty bad. Now, there's the new filter. So there's a gasket that goes right here, and then the filter goes on. There's two little screws that hold it on. So we're going to put the gasket and the filter back on real quick. I'm going to clean that off. There, I got the filter on. There's a gasket that goes in between there, just like that one did. And you can put that on backwards. Don't mess it up. It says front in the middle, or front at the top there. That goes towards the front of the transmission. If you got it flipped around, then your holes won't line up in there. There's what we got. Don't know how good you can see up in there. So yeah. I don't know if this one said front on it or not. Hopefully. If it did, I can't see it. But yeah, so that can go on like that. Or it can go on like that. And the holes got to line up. So if you got the wrong way, it ain't going to work right. There is some writing on it. I can't see it though. But yeah, make sure you got that on correctly. Check, check, and double check. Alright, I got the pan cleaned out real good. It's got some dents in it. I'm surprised that dent didn't go through. That's not leaking there. But yeah, that's clean enough for me. I'll put this rubber gasket on it. Line everything up and put the gasket, or put the pan back on. Sometimes it's hard to line everything up. That's one of the reasons why I'll put a dab of RTV on one side at least. But you put RTV on there and it sticks, especially with the cork gasket, and you take that off, then you got a bunch of cleaning to do to scrape all that stuff off there. But I'm gonna try to put this one on without it, because them rubber gaskets, they really don't need that. Actually, none of the gaskets really need it if you've got a good sealing surface and everything's nice and flat. But yeah, I'm gonna try to line that up and put the pan on and tighten it up. Alright, so I had a little trouble getting the gasket to stay straight for me. But that gasket, the bolts fit real snug in it, so I just stuck all the bolts through it. Now I'm going to try to put it on and just tighten the bolts up all a little at a time. See if that'll help. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt getting all that to line up, especially when your gasket just wants to slide around. And this is a lot more difficult when you're doing it under the car. It's a lot easier when you got the transmission out, of course. Alright, there we go. I set the pan on there, and then I started every bolt in a circle, and then I just went in a circle a turn at a time on each bolt to bring the pan down. And then once the pan got close, I just did a crisscross pattern, and I held the ratchet just right here. That way I could only get that much torque on it. And as you can see, that one's starting to pop out, so I think that's just about right amount of pressure on them, but you don't tighten them too tight. I'm just using my hand on the very bottom to turn. You don't get a lot of force like that. But yeah. It's not trying to push out nowhere. Yeah, you don't tighten those too tight. That's pretty much it. Alright. If you got a drain plug, don't forget to put your drain plug back in. And I'm just going to leave it like that, just because it'll make it easier for me to put the torque converter on. You put the torque converter on, you got to feel 3 clicks. You got to twist and turn it and fight with it a little bit sometimes. Some go on easy, some don't. And it can be misleading because sometimes when you first put it on, it'll go right on that first click. So then you got to get 2 clicks after that. So, but yeah, once I get the torque converter, we'll put the torque converter back on, slide it under the car, and get it ready to put it back in the transmission. And I'll make a video of that.